Fans are singing along with Price and Stock's walk-up music.
Out at home plate, what a play by Hoffman!
He got him, and the ball game and the series are over. Home run for Kyle Schwarber. And the Phillies have the National League Championship.
Alrighty, Chasers, welcome back to another edition of the Quit Chasin podcast. A little snarky, a little irreverent, and always unqualified. We're here to talk about life, whilst, yes, technically being a Phillies show. I'm Alex Kruger. That's Danny Gerb. Danny, say hi to the folks.
Hey, everyone. How you doing tonight, Alex?
I don't know, man. I'm tired and snarky. How about you?
Yeah, same thing. Tired, snarky, a little bloated. It's been a long year this year.
It is. For February 13th, the date that we record this, it has been an exhausting 6 weeks, for sure. For sure. But you know what, Danny? Some crazy things happened this past week. Are you familiar with what's been going on in Philadelphia?
Oh, I am. I'm absolutely am.
The Philadelphia Phillies are, to quote Chase Utley, world champions. World fucking champions, baby. Go Birds.
They are definitely
Go Birds.
You know, you just said the Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, I hate myself so much sometimes.
I
The
thought you were gonna go,
Philadelphia
like,
Eagles. You know what? It's because I had Chase on the mind.
yeah.
And I fumbled the bag. Okay. Well, sorry, folks.
I thought you were like leading up for the big reveal. Like the Philadelphia Phillies are the second most talked about team in the city right now.
I mean, honestly, with how bad the Sixers have been, I imagine the Phillies are third most talked about.
No, dude, no one's talking Sixers. No one's talking Phils. Everyone's just all birded up.
It's all Bird. I mean, why wouldn't they be? They're the only ones that actually answer the call and ring the bell.
They sure did. So we are on the first full day of pitchers and catchers down there at the Bay Care Center.
Yes.
So
now
let's do a little comparison. Yeah.
Let's do a little comparison. Let me first ask you then, Danny, do you consider yourself in the grand scheme of things more of a pitcher or a catcher?
Oh,
and people want to know.
Totally a catcher, right? I'm a lover, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've always seen myself more as like the Lincecum, you know. Ever since the first time I saw him in Dazed and Confused, I've been a pitcher.
So here's the thing about it all, like playing sports, growing up, and all that other kind of stuff. I really was attracted to the defensive end of things, and like I shined more defensively in soccer. You know, I started out as a midfielder and eventually went back to a fullback and played the stopper sweeper positions, and I was the happiest at stopper or sweeper, those back positions.
So I'm very, very similar. I don't know if the right word is athletic or coordinated. It's one of the two. So offensively, I'm not really much of a weapon, but defensively, fantastic. You know, as a cornerback, I'm not going to intercept it, but you're not going to catch it. In basketball, do not ask me to dribble it, but I'm going to cover the guy that you don't want having the ball. I can throw a football, I can throw a baseball, but other than that, I am not coordinated enough to do anything. Ask Pupo what his favorite basketball memory is, and he'll tell you it was just an epically uncoordinated, horrible option on my end that ended up working out well for us. So, yeah, that's where I land.
Well, that sounds great. I mean, yeah. So, like, I'm with you there. I feel the same way. Like, I feel the safety position in football is one of the coolest, sexiest positions. So
For sure.
that, and people will always say like, oh, your catcher is your quarterback of the field. I've heard that analogy before, but I get more of like that safety vibe from like, yeah, they are like the general of the defense and calling the plays, but that's why I'm gravitating towards pitcher and the gay stuff.
Well done. Way to bring that back around. Right back around town. Folks, one thing that we wanted to do tonight, aside from offend a couple of folks, is we wanted to kind of dissect a champion. We wanted to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and how it relates to the Philadelphia Phillies. And that in 2022, the Phillies went to the World Series and the Eagles went on a tear and ended up in the Super Bowl. And ever since then, they've both been kind of applauded and ranked fairly high on their own, world's spectrums. And where the Phillies are moving backwards, the Eagles did the job, and the Eagles got things done this year. And Danny, I wanted to, I don't know, just kind of check in with you. And curiously, after watching what the Eagles just did and knowing where the Phillies are, do you believe that the Eagles are a blueprint for why we should have hope for the Phillies? Or do you think that's a blueprint for why we're doomed?
I think it's a blueprint for actually why we're doomed. And it being the beginning of spring training, or, and pitchers or catchers reporting, like we still have the thick of spring training to slog through. And don't worry, Chasers, we will. But
we will.
And we're going to get to it, like the Roseman to Dombrowski comparison. But it's the stuff like, yeah, okay, you went out and you paid Saquon big and you got him.
I mean, running back big, so that's like 11 million. That's really not, that's dirt.
Right.
It's not Trey Turner money.
I mean, the Giants didn't want to pay it, so
amen.
Whatever. They paid the money and they went out and got it. It was a splash, right? But they also fixed the secondary with a draft pick.
True. The youth movement has been stellar for them lately. Really, over the last 5 years, the youth movement has been essential to building this team.
Right. And it's not the just parade of grizzled vets.
Yeah, I'll second that. I'll second that.
So, yeah. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think the construction of it all. And listen, obviously, this is apples to oranges, right?
For sure.
Just
because, like, baseball, like there isn't, you can't, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong, but in baseball, you can't just Saquon Barkley your way to a championship. There really isn't one guy holes that you add to a team and they're immediately a contender. I don't know. If baseball, you need more cogs and more pieces consistently showing up. Now, I was having dinner with my nephew tonight, and I made this statement. I want you to know, I want you to tell me if I'm off base, but Jalen Hurts has more of a winner's edge and an ability to show up on the biggest stage than Bryce Harper.
This was the second Super Bowl that he faced
a Steve Spagnuolo defense.
Yes, and went against Mahomes and just outplayed him. He outplayed him in 20. What was that? 2, 3?
Oh, for sure. In the 22 season, 23 Super Bowl, he absolutely outdueled him. They needed the refs to get the win. Common.
Well, we talked about the Bradbury call.
We did.
It didn't win it for the Chiefs, but it really did take it. It did take
all
a punch
the wind
away.
out of the seal for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but like the level of clutch in Jalen Hurts, the level of absolute killer instinct, like we saw it in 22 from Bryce, but I don't quite remember seeing it in 23. Well, Arcia was 23, wasn't he? The Arcia stare down.
Yeah,
okay, that was pretty good. But then he didn't have shit for Arizona, and then last year just that laugh fest. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, they didn't pitch to him at all. And that goes back to the construction, man. They beefed up the lines on both sides of the ball.
They did.
Of the Eagles team, and they beefed up a line and complemented, which I've always been saying, you need a lineup that complements each other. They beefed up the lines and went out and got a Saquon Barkley, and look what happens. So there's the thing. They got a complementary piece for what they beefed up.
They did. Now let me ask you this.
So it's who is the line for Harper?
So
where's Harper's O line?
I've been seeing a lot of interesting preliminary lineups for the season. I don't know if you have.
Yeah.
So the most popular, and I think this is what it's going to be, but in theory, number 1, Trey, number 2,
Mhm.
Bryce, number 3, Bohm, number 4, Schwarbs, number 5, Casty, number 6, I want to say Stott, and then 7, JT, and then 8 and 9 has flipped between New Austin Hayes and Brandon Marsh.
Plus or minus
something.
Kepler.
Yeah, Max Kepler. Thank you.
Plus or minus Kepler.
And I think that's a fascinating one. Like, as much as I love Kyle in the leadoff, I kind of do want someone with some thump in the 4 hole.
Well, we got there, right? You famously said a handful of pods ago, like, if first you don't succeed, run it back 2 more times. So
Right.
I can't believe a rehab, because we put it to bed, the Schwarber lineup argument last
He's a
year.
great leadoff guy, but they don't need him to be leadoff. They need him to be cleanup right now. That's
Well,
where he's more important
yeah.
right now.
We reached the second, and it took Arizona in 23 longer than it should have to stop pitching to Bryce. But
Yep.
we have now reached our second postseason where you can pitch around Bryce, because Bohm was your big bet I'm scared of. Like, get out of here.
Well, and again, so let's say, but even still, it's still Bohm behind Bryce in that scenario, though.
They're not batting Schwarber 4th? That's not how you're seeing
it? They have Bryce at 2, Bohm at 3. Is what I've been seeing.
Because of the lefty-righty thing.
Absolutely, yes, because Topper is who he is.
Yeah.
Because Topper's not a new age guy like this Nick Sirianni cat. But
no, he's not. You didn't text him back.
No, he didn't. You know what? Because Nick Sirianni he's got
he texts winners.
There goes the whole 215. Dawn Staley, she's getting a text, guys. Jay Wright, there we go. Charlie Manuel. So yeah, I don't know.
Wait, you wouldn't go Harp 2, Schwarber 3, and I know that's you just piled lefties, but
I don't give a shit about lefty righty. You know that.
Yeah, neither do I. I was under the impression the whole reason we have Schwarber at 1 and Harper at 3 is because you want to see them get the most at bats, right? So
let me ask you this:
why are you taking that away?
I like the idea of Trey at 1.
Stack the fucking lefties.
And I like Bryce at 3.
That's
and
me.
Kyle
I did
at 4. You did it. You sure did. That's all right. We're just gonna put an E on this one. I like Bryce at 3 and Kyle at 4. I like Stott at 2. Like, put another speedster there. I don't know. Maybe that's too much speed at the top and not enough at the bottom.
Trey Stott?
Yeah, that's too much of a same thing, one after another. Never mind. I take it back.
Stott did double his walks last year.
He did.
I mean, I'm really so. If you take this wrist elbow into account, doubled his walks.
Oh yeah.
Get around a fastball maybe this season. I'm not opposed to it. Listen, you got many months to play around with.
The other thing I got to wonder is, are we going to start with this lineup in spring training, go through the whole rigmarole, try a bunch of shit out, and then on opening day, you got Kyle in the 1 hole, you got Trey in the 2, you got are we just going to try out the normal lineup come opening day? Because I could also very much see that happening. Like, spring training gets off super rocky, super cold. They go back to old reliable, and here we are.
I don't think so. I think they do realize that there was a clunk between getting from 1 through 9 in the lineup.
You said it all along. A fundamental flaw in the construction of the lineup is what was going to doom them, and it's what did doom them.
Right. And if you're going to plus or minus Kepler, and here we are, season 3, you're talking about Schwarbs at the leadoff spot. But, I think it's abundantly apparent now that you need to get some protection for Harper. Since Reese has gone, since Reese went, that 4 or 5 hole has always been lacking.
That's true. That's so true. He was that linchpin of that spot, and no one's been able to replicate what he's done since.
Yeah. So I think opening the conversation up again of Schwarber leadoff, and I don't think we're going to see it. I don't think we're going to see it this year. I think if you are going to run it back with the same lineup plus or minus a Kepler, you're gonna have to tool around with it.
I can respect that.
But then, again, we gotta wait to see. So the reports are that Bone was a different guy. They know this within 2 days, so that's cool. Good to know.
You know what? I
Yeah.
remember all those videos and all that stuff about how Johan Rojas spent the entire offseason last year getting yoked, and then he was Johan Rojas anyways. So
Right.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
I'm not here for spring. I'm not Elliott Shore Parks, man. I'm not here for spring training bullshit.
you can tool around 1 through 4 as much as you want, 1 through 5 as much as you want. Stack the lefties, don't stack the lefties. I don't care at this point. Do something. But you're gonna have that 5, 6 through 9 drop off again.
No, amen, amen. So we'll see. It's a little bit
Yeah.
of time. But Danny, I want to circle back quick to a Super Bowl topic, and I wanted us to
Let's do it.
get a bit nostalgic and to talk
It's
recent
winning
events.
Wednesday.
It's winning Wednesday. Let's talk about commercialism. Always a winner in America. When growing up, are there any specific Super Bowl commercials that you vividly remember from childhood growing up? Like you remember, like, oh yeah, that was a Super Bowl commercial, and that was really good.
Didn't the whole Budweiser's like they always have Super Bowl commercials, but like the Budweiser, the frogs, and
Absolutely, the frogs,
and the what's up, the Budweiser one. Yeah,
yes,
those
What's Up was a good one.
All debuted on the Super Bowl. Those still have lasting power.
Yes.
I mean, what's up has lasted way longer than the Budweiser frogs. But every now and then, when I get one tossed to me at a barbecue, I'll do a little Budweiser. I do it to myself because I definitely don't want to date myself, but I do it. So it lasted, but you still see the what's up like in sitcoms. Granted, they use it as making fun of the person, but that's
how you show that they're out of touch and Michael Scott and right.
But it's still in the zeitgeist.
It is, and it's just so interesting because honestly, for how much money is spent on these things and how much hype we have all put into these things over the years, there aren't a ton that have had a massively lasting impact on me that I could recall and bring up. And half the time when I do think of them, they're cringe anyways. I know that you said you didn't get a chance to watch too much, like pay close attention to the game, but there was one specific commercial that it really stood out to me. And I'm really happy that people have been talking about it. But in the commercial, you had Tom Brady, notable MAGA chud, and Snoop Dogg, someone that performed at this most recent inauguration. And they did a commercial saying that hate is lame and let's not hate each other and let's love each other and embrace each other. And then the entire halftime show was a love letter to hate. And I love that we've all become so desensitized to the NFL being out of touch that no one's really batting an eye to that little similarity. I just find that was funny. I thought that was intriguing.
Yeah, I saw this in the agenda, and I was curious if you were going to explain how it was a love letter to hate a little more.
I mean, no, so I didn't, no. But essentially, I mean, Not Like Us is a song dripping in hate. Kendrick, great.
Yeah, okay.
And the entire halftime show was built around building up to Not Like Us. Every other song was awesome and it was a banger, but it was all about getting to that last song. Yes, it was. I mean, it was teased from the jump, right? For the last 3 months, yes. Yeah. But from the start of the halftime performance. Yes. Also, I'm glad you brought that up. So the Emmys were what, a week? Not enemy. The Grammys. Grammys were what, a week or two ago? It was the week before, yeah. Yeah, I saw Not Like Us was nominated. I send a text message to Kim. It's like, Not Like Us is up for a Grammy this year. I could have sworn I've been hearing this tune for the last 5 freaking years. Like that's how much. So that's pretty impressive. I had no idea it was this year's Grammys because it's been like I've been hearing Not Like Us for seriously 10 forever. I mean, he went 5 for 5 at the Grammys. It's been Kendrick's year, and I got to tell you, man, I've seen a lot of Super Bowl halftime shows, and this was arguably one of the best. Did I understand every word Kendrick was saying? Absolutely not. I'm not going to, but I didn't understand every single word Anthony Kiedis was saying. I still enjoyed the chill. Well, that was actually kind of a lame halftime show. But I thought Kendrick put on a legitimate show. It felt like, like a 15-minute play. And it was delightful. It was so entertaining. His flow was so unparalleled. It was great. What did you think?
I absolutely agree with you. So it's one of those things that was definitely soaking in imagery and symbolism. Now,
Yep.
I'm going to admit, I did not get all of it. But in real time watching it, I knew it was an art piece.
Yes. Yes. It was a statement through and through.
Right. Like you weren't just getting a glitzy glam, pop performance. Like I could tell there was definitely a theatrical art piece of running. Not maybe. I don't know. I don't know if there was a running thing. Like I said, I still to this day am not picked up on all of it or clued in on all of it. In real time watching in the moment, I knew there was some artistic storytelling going on. So I was absolutely enthralled by it. It was absolutely great. I found it wonderful. I like that stuff, though. You and I are guys that enjoy that kind of stuff.
For sure.
So, of course,
sure.
I'm not shocked to hear that you enjoyed it.
No, Nas's Rewind is still one of my favorite rap songs of all time. But I will agree with you that I am not culturally savvy enough to understand all of the undertones. In fact, at dinner tonight, my mom was kind of asking my nephew and I kind of just background about the show and what all the symbolism meant. And we were talking. She's like, yeah, and Serena did the Crip Walk. What is the Crip Walk? And at that point, I was like, you know what? Go check out a YouTube video. This is above my pay grade. This is out. I don't feel comfortable answering what is the Crip Walk because I don't know, and any kind of speculation I can do, it's not going to land well. So I've said all that I could. I've explained as much as my little Steelton heart can. You're going to have to Google the rest because I'm out. But it was amazing. I loved it.
Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme.
He changed his name to Froggy Fresh.
Oh yeah.
Krispy Kreme was like one of the original Tosh.0, whatever those things that he did were Web Redemptions.
Yeah.
He did that whatever. No, it was the white rapper kid with like the Ninja Turtle t-shirt.
Oh God, okay. Yeah.
So I actually really enjoyed Krispy Kreme. He changed his name, he got sued, changed it to Froggy Fresh, but he has a Halloween song, and at the end of it, Mike Myers does a Crip Walk. Now this is like 2020, 13, 14ish. So that whole summer, from Halloween until into the summer, I spent trying to learn how to Crip Walk.
That's amazing. I
got okay at it.
You know what? Now I kind of want to learn how to do it. Because I've been contemplating. I feel like I could. And now I feel like I'm just going to have to. But generally speaking, it was a phenomenal show. KO to Drake. Sorry, dude. Like, here's another thing I was talking about. And let me ask you this, because I feel you mess with hip hop, right?
Not horribly. Like, it's not my wheelhouse. So the stuff that leaks through is sometimes not of the mainstream or super mainstream.
100. Yes, I absolutely get that. Actually, that is my level of whiteness as well. So the thing that confuddles me about Drake versus Kendrick is, to me, it's two completely different genres. Like, it's gangster rap from Kendrick, so you got your NWAs, your Ice Cubes, like all that. That's Kendrick, but Drake is like pop rap, like early Kanye with the vest and the college dropout. Like, Drake is very, very commercialized, serialized pop rap, whereas Kendrick is, I'm legitimately from the hood. Drake's like, I'm from Canada. Kendrick's like, I'm from Compton. And I feel like those are two completely different worlds. And for Drake to think that he belongs in Kendrick's sandbox seems completely out of tune.
Well, the wheelchair kid from Degrassi also did a song talking about truffle butter. So he thinks he is in some world that he's not. So
he was in Degrassi. That's true.
Well, that is obviously how I know Drake. I had no idea he was this rapper.
You just
truffle butter, what 2014, 2015 is the biggest thing. If you don't know what truffle butter is, I recommend a good Urban Dictionary lookup. It's wonderful. And that being said, so I'm like, wait, the wheelchair kid from Degrassi singing about this, like this Canadian nerd banger. What is going on?
Such a dweeb.
So the disconnect with Drake has always been there for me.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Because again, like for what he is and the genre he works within, like that's great, man. You do a great job at producing what you produce, but like you're not the best rapper alive. It's silly to think. I don't see a pop rap. I mean, and if you are in your lane, but not in Kendrick's lane, you guys are in two completely different lanes. I don't get it. I also don't know who started the fire. Or has it just always been burning since the world's been turning? I don't know.
I love the fact that as we wait for men to get on the baseball field, we talk about truffle butter.
Truffle butter, baby. Truffle butter. Speaking of truffle butter, there's one last segment that I have on the agenda. However, if you wanted to save this for bits, we can, and that is the booze at the Super Bowl. Do you want to save that for later?
Yeah, well, that's my media stable / amped up. I could mush them together.
Word. In that case, then, Danny, I think it's time to reward our guests with a break.
Oh.
So, folks, we are going to be coming right back to you in a moment after you hear some kind words from whoever Danny has selected to talk to us today.
It's Mr. Sponge again.
Mr. Krabs. Let's do it.
Hey, SpongeBob, check out my new shirt.
Patrick, is that a heavy metal unicorn?
Uh-huh.
I want one.
Well then, click the link in the episode description to go to the Quit Chasin merchandise store and get one.
Absolutely. Wait, what's a Quit Chasin?
Huh, even I know what Quit Chasin is.
Well, what is it, Squidward?
Just look up Quit Chasin Podcast on social media. I've got customers lining up.
Did somebody say Quit Chasin?
Wow, Mr. Krabs, you have a Quit Chasin coffee mug, hoodie, t-shirt, and is that a shirt for Gary?
Meow.
It sure is. The prices are so low, I feel like I'm getting it for free. And you know how I love to keep on to me monies.
Come on, Patrick, let's visit the Quit Chasin store. Well, hey there, Chase Nation. Alex Kruger here. As our friends from Bikini Bottom go shopping, don't forget to email us at quitchasinpodcast@gmail.com if you want to share feedback or maybe even if you have an idea for an episode of Quit Chasin After Dark. Send it on over. And now, back to the show.
That's us, folks. We are back, and we are back with a vengeance. If you're watching us on YouTube, maybe you saw a little fella pop in there. I don't know. I also don't know how I'm editing this episode yet, so maybe you won't. This is a test for all of you poopos out there. But Danny, that brings us right on into our bits, and we are going to start off the day with Amped Up. Would you like to go first? Should I go first? Maybe I should go first, and it will lead into yours.
Yeah.
Does that work for you? All right. So what has me amped up?
Yeah.
Honestly, Danny, it is generally speaking, and like it's pretty chill, it's pretty cool, but it's the descent of America, democracy, hope, and believability from news sources. It's the fact that I can't turn anything on and believe anything I see because of the deep state, because of AI, because everything can be plagiarized and moved and manipulated at a moment's notice. And I am just so amped up that I can't trust anything anymore. And I don't know. I know nothing. Everything is terrible and the world is on fire. That's got
Sure. I didn't know where you were going to go with it, but I agree with you. Have you been seeing, and this is the one thing that has been bothering me the most, not the most, one of the millions of things that have been bothering me. But like just the complete blatant fake news articles that are coming, like they're
wild.
The NFL has fined Nick Sirianni and Ron Torbett for whatever and reversing the Super Bowl decision. And like the comment section of like, about time. That's I'm like, are you kidding me? And it's not just a headline with a picture, it's a full-fledged article.
Here's the 1984 of it all, man. Here's the thought police of it. Because, yeah, man, you see the article, you know the AI wrote it, you see the people with the comments. How many of those people are even people? How many of them are bots? How many of them aren't actually people? They're just planted there to rile us up. I was loving on Kendrick in my algorithm for a couple days. Next thing I know, all I'm seeing is pro-Drake bullshit showing up. And I know that the reason the pro-Drake bullshit showing up is to incite me, is to make me mad enough to comment. So it's just, it's all creating this negative sphere and spiral of bullshit. and there's no escape from it. There is no reputable news source because the left is fucking up, the right is messing. Like everybody is just full of crap. The left is trying to tell me places where I can find hope. And it's like, okay, cool, neat straws we're grasping at, guys, but like this is nothing. You are shouting at a mountain, hoping it won't avalanche. And that's not a productive way to get things done.
There are some outlets that I stopped listening to for that exact reason. But if it makes you feel any better, Alex, the cavalry is not coming. You're familiar with the dead internet theory, right?
No, what's that?
It's just pretty much saying that the internet is dead. No one's really real on it. And one of the key things that they bring up about, are you familiar with Shrimp Jesus?
Shrimp Jesus? No. Is that like the spaghetti monster?
Kind of. So what it is, it's like this AI generated version of Jesus. And it starts off, with like your typical AI white guy Jesus that, looks like Jared Leto. Sure. And it's like usually with a sunset and an ocean behind it. But as AI, it does what it does. It eventually like adds a fish. And now Jesus is in the bottom of the ocean. And now Jesus is half shrimp and whatever. So you get these complete abominations of like half shrimp, half Jared Leto. But then you go into the comments and it's just all AI generated comments like amen. So it's like this AI generated garbage with thousands and thousands of AI generated comments like amen, Jesus, my love. And it's just like this hideous Cthulhu looking MFer. And you're like, what is going on? Yeah. So it's the internet.
It's tough. And
shrimp Jesus is some of the best stuff on the internet. If you're into that absurdity,
one of my favorite things about all of this is that we, as a rising and growing podcast / show, utilize the internet and somewhat depend on the internet to get the word out and grow our brand and grow our vision. And yes, the internet is bullshit and no one is real, but we're on the internet and we're real. But how does anyone know that we're not just AI generated voices and faces telling them whatever the hell we want to say? It's great. It's awesome. Skynet is here. Bring on the T-1000. I don't know. Awesome. The Matrix. AI is going to enslave us all. Whatever. Great. What's got you amped up?
Yeah, I think that works nicely. It's the internet.
Go on.
It's the booing of Taylor Swift. And it's the booing of Taylor Swift. It's the Travis and Taylor Swift love story. It's the people that just want to hate on all of this completely. And it's both sides. I hate being offended. Both sides isn't offensive or both siding things. I hate it, but I'm going to do it right now. So hundreds of articles and posts of like, how insecure are these men booing Taylor Swift at a football game, and Travis Kelce went to an Eras every concert Travis Kelce went to, he was greeted with cheers and friendship bracelets. Well, here's the thing. Here's
concert versus game. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Philly has a booing culture, and like
True.
I know the rest of the nation doesn't quite understand it. We boo everything here, and we do it in many ways. We boo it to ingest. We boo it to express our disgust. We boo it. We boo people. You're at a bar and someone drops a glass. The bar boos you.
Yep.
I was sitting at a Super Bowl party. There were some hardcore Eagles fans and casuals as well. So, a lot of stuff doesn't get, you miss some stuff. You don't see it all when you're just at a party, sound off, closed captions. I was with Taylor Swift fans. I was with Taylor Swift haters. I was with people that I went to the Eras Tour concert with. As soon as she popped up on the screen, we all booed her. Booed her.
She's Casey Red.
Right. We were in another room, in another state. You boo all things Chiefs. That is all it is. All things Chiefs.
I adore Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is one of my favorite personalities of all time. I'm a boo his ass when I see him
Boo
in his
him.
Chiefs gear. 100%.
Anyone in red, you booed. Anyone in green, you cheered at. Get old Anne Hathaway. Was it Anne Hathaway?
Anne Hathaway, apparently, a huge Eagles fan and has been for years. Not a fakie. Like, she's legit.
Apparently, her grandfather was a big time guy at WIP. I had no idea.
Sure was. Yeah. She's local royalty.
That's all it is. That's all it was. We all booed, and then we all kind of laughed after it too. You know, that's
sure.
All it is. It's not insecure men. Listen, there are some of it, and I do think that's nonsense too. We're tired of seeing her. Tired of seeing her for 5 seconds during a Chiefs game. Like,
absolutely, that is ludicrous and asinine and insane. I mean, there have been plenty of wags over the years that have been over. And every time the Verlander's in town, I think it's Verlander, we see Kate Upton. Like, it is what it is. Okay.
It is.
If it's the person, then you're going to see it. Now that every time you see Josh Allen, you're going to see Haley Steinfeld. It is what it is. Okay. When you know both characters, they're going to show them. No, not at all. Honestly, Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens, like, she legitimately adores him. Like, I'm cool with that.
You're my flashlight. You're my flashlight.
You're my flashlight, Danny.
Thank you. But
you're welcome.
But yes. That's only half of it.
What's the other half?
The other half is these people. So all right.
The other Hathaway. Sorry, go ahead.
So all right, let's say you watched every single Chiefs game, all 17, not including the playoffs, because I'm not going to do the math. That's less than a minute and a half of Taylor Swift that you have seen. So if you are angry about that, and I guarantee you didn't watch all Chiefs fans unless you live in whatever flyover state they from.
I want to say Missouri.
Sure.
I like our chances. It's either Kansas or Missouri, man.
I was going to say it's in 2 states.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So, okay, whatever. You can't handle a minute and a half. That's your problem, not Taylor Swift's or the NFL's for showing her. The other half of it is these people, these lowest common denominator people that don't understand that, hey, guess what? Travis Kelce's a millionaire. Taylor Swift is a billionaire. They are not going to have a public proposal on a Super Bowl field like they're some John. I don't know. John, I can't even have a name. Jabroni Johns on Broad Street getting engaged. They're classy people. To think that it's going to be public is ridiculous. To think it's going to be at a sporting event is even more ludicrous. Like, this narrative, the meme of I was supposed to propose of Travis Kelce yelling at Andy Reid from 2 Super Bowls ago. Yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is not the WWE. As much as fixes may or may not be in, there is no Travis Kelce publicly proposes to his billionaire girlfriend on a football field in front of you drunk stu-nobs. Just ain't happening.
They're going to do that on some island that she's purchased to have all of her sweatshops. But anyways, the thing that gets me is that Travis Kelce,
capitalism.
Sure did. Travis Kelce looked like crap on that field, which really blew me away because I like Travis. I think Travis is a hell of a ball player. I think he's one of the best tight ends I've ever seen, and he just had no effort during that game, and that surprised me and that amazed me. But yeah, the whole Taylor Swift thing, like, it kind of is what it is. I think it's so overblown and it's so ridiculous. Having said that, after the game, CJ Gardner-Johnson threw up a picture mocking Travis, saying, and now you have to go back to that flat something or whatever. Like, don't you miss that thick shit or something like that, insinuating Travis's ex-girlfriend. So Swifties took it upon themselves to review bomb CJGJ's mother's restaurant in Florida negatively to try and just absolutely tank it. And that's the other side of the fandom philanthropy that we discussed just the other week on our Love It or Hate It. It's when folks take things too far and start to make things super personal to the folks surrounding an individual instead of the individual that actually did themselves. And I don't know. I didn't like that story, that headline.
I didn't like it either. They both broke codes. You don't go after guys, girls. You don't go after people's moms.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You don't go after moms. Oh,
Nah,
never.
not moms.
Nope. Danny, what you got for media stables?
That was it.
All right. My media stables, folks,
It
to
was
anyone.
Amp Media.
I
Media
loved
up.
it. I love it. To anyone that accidentally found themselves on Crossing Broad today, you would have seen an article by the once respectable, now meh, Kevin Kincaid, explaining that Sheets, that's right, folks, Sheets, often talked about, often loved and adored, is coming your way to the 215. No longer do you have to live off of mediocre gas station food. Now you can live off of slightly better than mediocre gas station food, thanks to your friends at Sheets. I just want to say big old congratulations, big round of applause. You're finally getting an opportunity to enjoy life. Well done. Well done.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, I got something. I'm never gonna let this Sheets versus Wawa thing go. And I hope all of our listeners understand. I will Sheets until the day I die.
It is the hill you chose, and you know what? I'm not.
I didn't choose this hill, Danny. This hill chose me. I would love to be on a different hill, but superior quality, superior experience. I've tried Wawa. I've tried it in the Philly area. I've tried it around here. It's just pathetic. But that's neither here nor there, Danny. We all know I hate Wawa.
Yep.
Which brings me to our last segment, which is love it or hate it. Danny, love it or hate it? Valentine's Day.
Yeah, right. So it is a tough one. I hate it, and everything I'm going to say is the trite stuff that you hear from guys like me all the time. And
Awesome.
I don't want it to be. Like, I agree. Like, oh, why do I have to pick this one day to show you I love you? I love you every day. And there is truth to that. I'm not against it. I want to be into it because I want to be into holidays. Like, I like holidays. Like, there's someone down the street from me. They decorate for everything.
I love
Every
those people.
holiday. Yeah. Window stuff, lights,
Arbor
door
Day.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Every month, man. And they have their Valentine's Day stuff out now. And I'm like, I wish I could get into it. And it just feels so forced. I feel like I'm being told to do it. And I can't get into it because of that.
I get that. I guess I'm kind of also conflicted with Valentine's Day because I don't like the idea of being forced to show I love someone or not. I don't love the hallmarkification of it that if I want to get Kara roses 2 weeks from now, it's going to be like $12. If I want to get her roses today, it's going to be $25. I think that's horseshit. I don't think I should be twisted. My arm shouldn't be twisted into spending an exorbitant amount of unnecessary money. And thankfully, Kara's not like that. She is not one of those. Now, I got her, some candy. I got her a nice card, all that good jazz. Like, I did do stuff, but I didn't have to go full flowers because I can't justify buying flowers around Valentine's Day because it's such a crock. It really is. I love Valentine's Day in the sense that, when you're with someone that you do love, it's great to shower them with it and just like, I don't know, remember how lucky you are. But I do hate feeling like I have to do it this day or else it means I don't love them. Like, I think that's horseshit. And I can make any day Valentine's Day and I will. I don't like the pressure of having to do it on specifically February 14th. Plus, it's my dad's birthday. And I always kind of felt bad that he had to share his birthday with Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, that does stink. It's also historically one, like, there is no Saint Valentine.
There's that too. There is. Did you go to St. Mag's?
I did go to St. Mag's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember Miss Sherman put on a video about St. Valentine. And even then I was like, all right, guys, this story, it's kind of like St. Gregory, the Dragon Slayer. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure I buy this one.
Yeah, I mean, I forget what that is called. There is something about, like, so the whole St. Christopher thing, but also he is also recognized, even though he's not recognized, but recognized. So there is like something. I am no theologian, so I definitely can't expound upon that. But it's unromantic. The day has a very unromantic history.
That's true.
So Kim and I are going on a long weekend because it was.
I was going
President's
to ask
Day.
what Kim's view of Valentine's Day is.
So she likes to recognize it and acknowledge it. And, it was like one of our first years that we were dating. And this is, like where I did that, like it's not really my thing. Like it's definitely a Hallmark holiday. I don't like feeling forced. Like it's just something I don't do. And then out that day, you saw everyone getting into it, and then I felt a little guilty. Like, oh man, like you know what? It's not about me. It's
Yep.
not about me. So we have dinner plans for tomorrow evening. And we are going on a long weekend with friends. Is a trip we do at the end of February, beginning of March, yearly. This was the weekend that worked out because the President's Day weekend. I'm going through, we're looking for Airbnbs, everything's through the roof.
Yep.
And I am like, what is going on? So I text my one buddy that we're going with. I was like, dude, what's your price point at this year? Because I don't know what's going on. Like, everything's through the roof. And then it dawned on me. It was Valentine's Day weekend through the roof. And like, you kind of want to call them up and be like, hey, man, like, that's not why I'm going this weekend. We just picked this weekend. Like,
this shouldn't count, man. This shouldn't count for surge pricing.
Yeah, like we're out. This isn't our long romantic getting. This is just something we do yearly. It just happens to be on this weekend. Like I wanted.
If you don't have to steam
and
clean
say
the
that.
sheets, do we get money off? Like, I'm curious, if we pass a blacklight inspection, are we good?
Yeah, like
no,
hey, man,
I get that.
This isn't for that.
You know what I will say though? I think so in your mind, is Valentine's Day a male gifting the female holiday, or is it a quid pro quo level holiday? Like, so Kara gets me stuff too. I'm sure I'm going to have a card and some candy and stuff like waiting for me. But I've always found it interesting when folks think that it's truly just a one-way street holiday. What's your thought on that?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Also, I have the pleasure of dating one of the greatest women in the world. And Kim
I know that
is
feeling.
Not only beautiful and sweet, but she is unbelievably generous. And like, she's a wonderful gift giver. I just am astounded at how great of a gift giver is. And like, for instance, last year's Valentine's Day gift to me was a book of cryptids by state. Like the biggest cryptid in each state, and like a chapter about them, and a deck of cards with Greek and Roman mythical monsters on the back of it.
Nice.
So yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely a two-way street.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, having said that, where do we land on Valentine's Day? I'm going to go with love it. How about you?
I mean, it's the love day, right? So
yeah, I love it.
Love it.
Oh, guys, Danny has been as sour as an entire crate of Sour Patch Kids since like November 10th or whenever that was, November 6th, whatever. So to hear Danny say that he has love for the thing that personifies love, that warms my cockles. It really does.
What can I say? I'm a lover. Hey, Alex.
Yo, Danny.
Give him the business. This was fun.
This was fun, but it's not an After Dark episode, so it's actually you giving him the business.
No. You run down we have a Gmail and some stuff.
Oh, see, that's in the ad read. I don't have any of that written. Guys, we have a Gmail. Right. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, President Musk's thing, Twitter. You can hit us up on Gmail. Check out our YouTube, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Hail to the chief. If you don't, he's going to kill you. Hey, everyone. We'll do better next week. I promise. And we are going to start talking some Phils at some point. Everybody knows an ant can't move a rubber tree plant.